Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we get started, we'll need to run through our obligatory risk disclosure here. So we'll do just that. Okay, so just to remind everyone that the content is being distributed and published by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice, offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information is to be used at your own risk, and the company's partners, representatives, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures or options or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure here, we'll go ahead and turn our attention to the news here and see what news we have in store today could potentially impact the markets. Okay. So first of all, Happy New Year and welcome to 2026. So we're starting off the year with a report here on our S&P manufacturing PMI final. That's going to come in at 9:45 a.m. Today. And then pretty much no news, okay, for the rest of the remainder of the day. And then as we look forward to next week, we begin earnings season, okay? So little to no news here. So we'll go ahead now and move into our charts and see what we can secure from the charts here. All right, so here we go. Bring that up here. Okay, we'll put this up here. And we'll close this. Maximize this. And we'll change to the gold to start. Let's see if I can. Okay, here we go. All right, so hopefully you guys can see my screen here. Just gonna double confirm that. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart here. Okay, so we'll just adjust this here to the right here a little bit. Okay. All right, so daily chart, you can see here we had as we closed out the year, there was maybe a little bit of profit taking here at the end of the year. And now we appear to be in some sort of lower end of this range here. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Okay, so you can see that we've have a little bit of overlapping candles here at an area of support here around 43, let's call it 25 level here. Okay, got a little bit of maybe a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern that's developing here. At this area of support, you know, barring the follow through of this candle here that we have here at the tail end of the. Let's see if I can actually get my. This is crazy. Okay. All right. So daily chart kind of giving us some indications here that we've come down to maybe an area of support here. As you can see here on the right-hand side, We've come into an area of value right around this 43.33 level, and now currently trading at 43.86. Now the question is going to become now: is this going to offer us maybe a location for price to potentially rally from this location? Good morning, Anthowell, and Happy New Year to you as well. So an interesting area for me here is going to be kind of the middle of this range here. Let's see if I can't seem to get my, yeah. So the middle of this range here, let's call it, say 43.60. This area right here is an area that I would say is relatively important if we are going to maintain sort of this kind of beginnings of this bearish structure that we're seeing with this bearish candle. I would expect that 43.60 would be an area that could potentially serve as some sort of resistance to price. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and remove some of our indicators here if I can. We're going to go ahead and remove our initial balance, and I think we'll leave everything else here. Okay. Okay. All right. So looking at the 4-hour chart, you can see that we're in the beginnings of maybe some downside structure in this market. You can see that we had a little bit of a swing here. Let's see. I'm getting some alerts here. Yeah, so we're in a little bit of downside structure. We had a swing to the downside here, you can see, right? And then we had a break, right? We have now we're inside some bullish structure here, but it's kind of giving us an indication that maybe there is some further downside to this market. Okay. That's kind of what's kind of intimating to me here. Okay. So if we were to measure this area, and let's see, parallel channels, let's see if I can, this is the only two I have here. Okay. All right. In any case, so it looks like we're in some sort of bearish channel inside an area of some low volume. So this certainly could indicate that maybe we will potentially break to the downside here in this market. And if we take kind of a comparison between this swing and that swing, well, we can easily get down to 4,100 on this move. Okay. Now I'm not suggesting that that's going to take place today. Okay. But it is an indication that we are in some sort of bear side structure, and at least on the lower time frame. And we've gotten some preliminary indications on the higher time frame of that as well, with the large bearish engulfing candle that we got a few days ago. Okay, so the question now becomes: if we do indeed follow this bearish structure that it appears that we're in. We obviously have a developing bearish engulfing candle as we speak. We're starting to see price getting and overlapping some of the EMAs that we care about. We obviously need price to get below 43.21.7 in order to kind of continue in that mode, in that path. Otherwise we can sustain or continue to remain in this kind of bullish channel that we're currently in. Okay, taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, again, I'm going to go ahead and turn off some of my drawings here, and just going to kind of compare where price is. Okay, so you can see that price is starting to get below some of the levels that we care about. We're starting to see some structure that would indicate that maybe there is a little bit of momentum behind this move here to the downside. Okay. Right. So we had a close below this channel to the downside, and now we have a follow-up candle here that indicates that maybe there is some more downside pressure in this market. All right. I'm going to go ahead and compare It's Thursday, January 1. Okay, so I'm going to compare the most recent full session here. Okay, if I can, let's see. We'll just do it. We'll do it via initial balance here. So we'll compare initial balance ranges across the various markets here. And we'll start off with the Asia market. Okay. All right. So Asia market was initially bullish. You can see, right? We got a nice little extension to the upside in this market. And we kind of held above the 9 EMA up until recently. Okay. London, on the other hand, appears to be a bit more bearish on this market. All right. We got a little bit of an extension here to the downside in this market, right? And kind of working our way potentially back. Let's see, back to where's my settlement price here? Settlement price is 43.41. 43.41. So but maybe has the potential of maybe coming back to this area down below here. I have marked down below here. Okay, this area could serve as a destination for this current move that we have here. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and open up the current session initial balance range and see what kind of initial balance range that we're forming for the day session. And you can see that we're forming a relatively small range here. Okay, so the question becomes now is, in which direction does price leave this range? Does price leave this range to the downside, or will it reverse back and maybe retest the highs of the day? Right now, I would say that there is a fair amount of momentum, okay, to the downside in this market, and it would not surprise me in the least if we came back and retested settlement from the prior day. Okay, so right now, I would have to say that I'm probably a little bit on the bearish side, okay, of this market. I'm looking to see kind of what kind of reactions we've had from prior areas. Looks like we had some sellers step in here at 44.17.7, and we've started to break some structure here to the downside. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the ADR levels here for a minute and see where we are with respect to ADR. Okay, and you can see that there's still a fair amount of distance here on both sides. Actually, we reached the ADR to the high side. Okay, so it's kind of giving us an indication that maybe the upside momentum is a bit stalled here. Okay, so you can see here that we are reacting away from ADR high, which could give us maybe a reversal in price, at least I would say down to this settlement, right? Settlement price from the prior day. Okay, so 43.40 is going to be an area that I'm going to be kind of watching, okay, and see if we do indeed come down to that level. Let's turn off our ribbon here for a moment, and let's see where our 9 EMA is. See, we got an SMA here as well. Okay, so and then we have our VWAP. All right, so our VWAP is kind of indicating, well, actually both our VWAP and our 9 EMA indicating that maybe there is some further downside pressure in this market. Okay, so until assuming that we continue in this range, then the expectation is that this VWAP and 9 EMA are going to continue to slope to the downside. Now, we do have some areas here that could be supportive. In addition to this 43.40 level, I do see that we do have a level here around 43.60. Okay, so actually 43.70. Okay, yeah, around 43.68.7. This was the most recent breakout range that we've had in the past. Okay, so we have a couple of areas where we potentially could see a reversal in price should we receive it. Otherwise, the expectation is that we would come down as low as settlement, and then maybe there's an outside possibility if we do get into some sort of sustained move that we could come back down to maybe around the 4,300 level, and that would be supported by the by the ADR. Okay. So interesting areas. Okay. So I'm going to be looking, if I'm going to, believe in this kind of move that we've been seeing during Asia, and maybe obviously to a lesser degree in London. I'm going to be looking to see if I am going to be bullish or looking for a reversal pattern. I'm going to be looking for some sort of 3-bar reversal pattern on a 15-minute time frame. 50, yeah, the 30-minute looks like Bigfoot. Yeah, this candle right here does indeed look like maybe somebody on institution wise may have kind of stepped into this market, and it also could be the institution's way of wiping out a lot of weak hands, a lot of weak buyers here. Okay, so we have to be kind of temper that as well. Okay, so it'll be interesting. Right now we're at the point of control of this visible range volume profile. So it'll be interesting to see if we do react away from this level, or whether we continue. I would say that if we're buyers, there's probably better locations that we could potentially look. But again, we have to kind of take whatever the market gives us. Otherwise, until we break above 4,400 or 4,410, really we're kind of in the beginnings of maybe some downside structure here. Okay. Taking a look at, let's move on to silver here, guys. And we'll start off with the daily chart on the silver. Okay, so looking at the silver market, okay, you can see that the market is in some sort of consolidation pattern here. Okay, it's difficult to make what to make of this, but you can see that we have a lot in the way of overlapping candles. We have 70,225 on the low end, and then we have 79, or just call it 80 on the higher end. And it seems to be in range. Okay, we made a very nice move up until then, okay, to the upside, and now we seem to be in some sort of consolidation range in this market. Looking at the 4-hour chart, again, you can see that the market is in some sort of range. We see a lot more in the way of overlapping price action in this market. We're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here for a moment. Actually, turn off ADR here for a moment. Okay. And you can see, right, that we are in some sort of channel, right? I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do this here. Okay. Something along these kind of lines. If I try to incorporate as many of these candles as I can, you can see that we are in some sort of bearish channel to the downside. Okay. We are developing on the 4-hour, we're developing a little bit in the way of a bearish candle, but unlike the gold, we see that price remains above our VWAP and above, I'm assuming that this is VWAP. Let me double check. Yep. It is above our VWAP and above our 9 EMA. But you can see that price is overlapping above and below it. Okay. So kind of indicating to us that maybe we are in some sort of range in this market. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay. So 30-minute chart, again, you can see that, our attempts to head higher have been stalled. Okay. Price has managed to get below our 9 EMA, but still remains above our VWAP. Okay. So kind of mixed. We're kind of a little bit mixed. We do see that we're right up at the edge of value from this visible range volume profile, which does, at least for now, appear to be an area of maybe some potential support. Okay. So assuming that we get a 4-hour, this is a 30-minute chart. Okay. Assuming that we get maybe a 30-minute candle to close, it could provide us maybe the impetus for maybe a upside move in this market. Okay. Risking the lows of VWAP, right? For that opportunity. And that could lead to maybe back to some of these highs of back Tuesday and maybe Monday. Okay. So right now, I would say that I'm maybe a tad more bullish on the silver than I am on the gold market. I'm seeing a little bit more evidence, although we're still below 9 EMA. We are above the VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and kind of compare the initial balance ranges across the various markets here. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Asia market and see where Asia is in relation to price here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and open up Asia. Okay. You can see that price is above our initial balance range from Asia. Okay. Indicating that there is a fair amount of interest here to the bullish side. We open up London. London is probably not as much. Okay. Maybe in the process of maybe developing a little bit of a failed auction opportunity in the silver market. Okay. We got an extension to the downside. But we immediately got a candle that looks like to appear to want to close back inside the range. Okay, so indicating that maybe we have a failed auction underway in the silver market that could lead us back at least to the highs of day. All right, let's take a look at ADR and see where we're at with respect to ADR. You can see that we're at the upper end of the ADR range. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here so that maybe becomes a little bit more visible here. And then we'll go ahead and see if we can darken this up here so you guys can see this even better here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and reduce the opacity here on this. And we're going to reduce the opacity here on this. And okay, so it's very visible now what the range is, right? So we managed to hit this range, okay, hit the ADR high in this market. Okay, we got a little bit of reaction away from it, but not enough of a reaction to maybe cause the market to continue to the downside, at least not for now. So areas that I'm going to be focused in on, okay, similar to what we were saying with the gold, okay, we have this level here, which is the high end of value, which is around the 73 price. That's also above our VWAP, okay. So assuming that price can stay above VWAP, okay, then I'm expecting that maybe there is another maybe leg to the upside in this market. Okay, ideally, I'd like to see price get above this 74 level before entertaining that, because I do understand that I'm in an area where I know that I've exhausted to the upside. Okay, there's possibility that I've exhausted to the upside, and that this area in the past has offered me maybe a reversal in price. So I'm going to be I'm going to be watching this carefully, watching to see if we hold above VWAP, seeing if we do indeed close above my 9 EMA. And I might play this a little bit more conservatively and wait for price to get above my 74 level. And then I can use the 74 level as a kind of retracement level for a continuation move to the upside. Okay. So that's kind of what I have here for the silver market. Let's go ahead now and move on to the crude oil market. Okay, looking at the crude oil market, we'll start off with the daily chart. Okay, daily chart again continues to show signs of weakness, continues to show signs that the market really hasn't picked up any serious buyers, right? So we're going to go ahead and turn off our ADR here for a moment just to kind of clean up the charts here a little bit. You can see that I've identified a support zone here around 55. You can see that we've developed a little bit in the way of, kind of a resistance zone here around the 58.50 level. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that area here as maybe another area of resistance here in red. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and mark that off as an area of resistance. And we have this area kind of marked in as maybe a potential area of support. So let's go ahead and mark that in as support. Oops, that's not what I wanted up here. That's just this area here. We'll mark this as maybe potentially supportive, because we've seen that price left this area, now have come back and retested and found some buyers. But the buyers are not super strong here, because they did not manage to open up or break above this 58.50 level. I think that we've kind of called out in the past. Okay, so moving on to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see that we continue to stay in some sort of bearish structure here to the downside. If I were just going to look at the most recent kind of price action, you can see that we're starting to staircase our way to the downside. Okay, assuming that we do break below this 56.82 level, does open up the possibilities of price revisiting 55.70 and maybe as low as 55. Okay, assuming that we do break this level. All right, taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart, you can see that price is below some of the levels that we care about. Okay, we're below value, right, on the visible range volume profile here on the left-hand side, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in right about this level here. Okay, so that's resistant, 57.20. So expectation is that if price were to come back to that level, that would generate maybe some more sellers in the direction. So we are very much in some bear side structure here. We're below our settlement. We're below value. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at ADR, see how much downside opportunity we have here. And we're coming into an area where we could find maybe price reverse, right? We have ADR low here. So we have a statistical range that could offer us maybe a reversal in price here, okay? Taking a look at the initial balance range, I think the expectation is that we have a fair amount of sellers in this market. We'll just go ahead and confirm that. Okay, so initially we had some buyers in Asia, right? And that turned into sellers during London, right? So London, a lot of bear side pressure in this market. Now we're coming into an area around this 56.70 level, okay, right around this 57 level, okay. So this area right here could provide us maybe a reversal in price, but we do need to understand that we still remain in some sort of bear side structure in this market. A number of sellers still remain in this market. So headed into this session, unless I'm looking for some sort of mean reversion opportunity that would take me back to some of these levels above me, right? So IB low here at 57.31, 90 MA at 57.13, and we have another 57.33 VWAP, right? So these are kind of some logical levels. If I am in alignment on this bearish side structure, these levels that I've highlighted would be some levels that I would look for continuation moves in this market. Okay. So before we move on to the equity markets, just kind of, again, to start off the new year, we want to obviously start off the new year with some support of this portal, support of this channel. So if you do find that the analysis is indeed supporting your understanding of the markets, I would definitely encourage you to, hit the like button, leave a comment or two on the portal. That goes a long way in supporting me and supporting the channel. Okay. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the NASDAQ. All right, the market that we're all kind of waiting to understand. We'll start off with the daily chart. Okay, so daily looks like we kind of caught a little bit of a rally, it appears, in this market, right? Start the new year, start off with a bullish candle here. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here, getting some alerts to, let's see. ADR, we're going to turn that off as well. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings. All right, so you can see that we are what appears to be in some sort of kind of wedge pattern, okay, maybe even an ascending wedge. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the top end of this wedge here up at the highs, and then this area over here kind of serving as kind of an area of some sort of support here, right? Supportive area. Okay. So the question now becomes, are we going to continue to respect this kind of trend line to the upside? So far we have a developing bullish engulfing candle. Okay. And we are beginning to make higher highs and higher lows. Now we have this 26,220 level that could serve as some area of resistance up at these highs here at 26,215. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, again, we've had a series of consecutive bullish candles in the last 12 hours. Okay, we're coming into an area where we could potentially see some resistance here at 25,800. You can see that we do have a little bit of a consolidation here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this area, right, the highs here, 26,800, okay, as a potential area of some resistance to price. If we are indeed in some sort of bullish structure or the beginnings of a bullish structure, and we're going to revisit maybe some of these highs, we obviously need to get through these intermediate levels, 25,800, 25,900 in order to sustain this move to the upside, okay? Taking a look at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, you can see that we are in some sort of kind of consolidation at this point. A little bit of a bearish channel here. I don't know if that's to support the beginnings of some sort of move here to the upside. We do see that price is right up against the value range from the visible range volume profile. I'm going to go ahead and draw that in green. Okay, so this area being somewhat of a supportive area. Okay, based on what I see in the visible range volume profile. Okay, I do see that we have settlement well below, and do see that we have a little bit of a gap here. Okay, so at some point this gap will get filled. Question is whether that's going to happen today or not. Let's see if I can open up. What was that indicator? Okay, midnight. Okay, so 30-minute chart, again, we are in some sort of bearish channel here, right up against the edge of value from this visible range volume profile. You can see that price is above our VWAP, kind of flirting in and out of our 9 EMA, to be honest. So kind of giving us a little bit of a mixed signal there. Taking a look at our, we're going to take a look at our initial balance across the various sessions. And you can see that, Asia was bullish. Asia was bullish. London also not quite bullish. Okay, in range. Okay, so question now becomes, are we going to remain in this range? Asia established the range. We got to a low here of what was that? 25,430. Markets opened with a gap up. Okay, and we have a good amount of buyers in this market. Now, is this merely a pullback? If it's a pullback, then I would say that we probably are better served in waiting for slightly better pricing. Okay, maybe down to this low end of value here at 25,640 before we entertain any sort of opportunity to the upside. Okay, if not, then obviously I need to see price break above this channel to the upside and support it with some volume. Okay, because right now we see that price is below our 9 EMA. We still see our VWAP. We have been extended away from VWAP for a period, and our settlement is down below. So my feeling is that if we're patient, that we could get maybe slightly better pricing if we're patient and wait for price maybe to come down to this 25,650, 25,640 level. That seems to be kind of a logical path for the current kind of market condition that I'm seeing. And this if that is going to be the case, my channel will support me in that view. All right, it'll continue to remain in that channel up until that level. Okay, at that point, I would expect that maybe we get some sort of maybe 3-bar reversal pattern, and maybe we head higher. Okay, let's go ahead now and take a look at the ES market here. Taking a look at the ES and see if what context we can derive out of that. Again, we opened up the new year with a bullish candle. We did break above. Okay, we did break above this area. We managed to get below it. So now the question becomes, is this supportive or is this resistant? Because we just plowed through this area and now we have a bullish candle developing. Okay, so I'm going to mark it as bullish for now, but I do need to see price remain above, let's call it 69.30. Okay, 69.30 in order for me to maybe embrace this most recent move. Okay, then I need to see price remain above this 69.30 based on the daily chart. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance here for a moment. We're going to go ahead and kind of expand this here out a bit and see what we can glean. Now we had a little bit of kind of a triangle pattern that generated some sellers, where we've come back down to looks like a settlement price, right, and reversed away from settlement, and now we're beginning to maybe develop some structure. We did manage to have a candle close above this area. Okay, but there is this 69.60 level above that I see that we still need to contend with. okay? Right? So this is proving to be maybe an area of some resistance to price, okay? So, and we just, if I'm drawing my channels, looks like we just managed to close above this area, okay? So this is giving me some indication that maybe there is some bullish structure that's being developed here in this market. I have 6960 above me that could prove to be resistant. Taking a look at the 30-minute chart, similar to the NASDAQ, here we are. We have a developing candle here to the, that's maybe indicating that there's maybe further upside to this move. We have VWAP, prices above our VWAP. A price is still technically hovering right around our 9 EMA, kind of give us a little bit of a mixed signal as to exactly what direction they want to take this. You see that my channel is in the process of potentially being broken. We've identified some levels. We have point of control here on the visible range. We have some sellers here, and we have this prior settlement price. Those two areas, 69.44 and maybe as high as 69.50, could also be areas of some resistance to this current move. Okay, taking a look at the ADR here just to kind of get a sense of where we are with respect to price. Again, we similar to what we I think mentioned. Maybe we didn't do this analysis for NASDAQ, but we are up against the ADR high here. But we broke it relatively early in the session. So that could be an indication that maybe there is a little bit of a sustained kind of auction or sustained kind of move. I'm going to assume that as long as price remains above my VWAP here, down at the 69.24 level, then there's maybe some more upside opportunity in this market. If I'm going to kind of forecast, maybe that will take us back to the 69.50 level, given kind of the current price action that we're currently seeing. Let's take a look now at the initial balance range, okay, across the various markets here. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the Asia market, all right? Asia market, you see that we had a fair number of buyers that stepped into this market. A lot of buyers in Asia. London, not so much. London managed to get above, but they don't seem to necessarily be embraced with this view. Okay, so price has managed to get back inside the initial balance range, and maybe if we do have buyers, they're not as strong as Asia. Okay, so if price remains below our initial balance range for London, there's an expectation that we could maybe revisit the lows here at 69.21.75 based on what I'm seeing here on the initial balance range before we make any sort of reversal or any sort of continuation move that's aligned with the general direction that Asia was able to post. Okay, so headed into the session, again, a fair amount of buyers in this market. We're starting to see that maybe we're breaking some structure here to the upside. I feel like there's probably some more a better buying areas, okay, if we are patient. Okay, so again, the 69.20 level, maybe we get a little bit of an extension and maybe a little bit of a failed auction here during the US session that would provide us maybe a reversal in price. But I cannot deny that there are a fair number of buyers in this market. Now, again, London doesn't seem to be entirely embraced with that view. So we'll have to see what the US brings to this market. Okay, let's go ahead now and wrap up our session here, guys, with a review of the Dow. All right, let's take a look at the daily. Again, daily is probably showing a little bit more in the way of weakness here. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit more in the way of weakness in the Dow than maybe some of these other markets. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings. You can see that we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 straight candles of bearish price action. We do see that price did manage to close below our 9 EMA, and now we have a developing bullish candle. Now, as long as price remains below our 9 EMA, as you can see, the 9 EMA has served us well in kind of arriving at the general sentiment of the market here. So as long as price remains below our 9 EMA, I'm kind of erring on the side of the bears. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up my ribbon. You can see that maybe this is an early sign, right? Because the market, if we're looking at the 200, the 100, and now we did cross below the 50 before we got some sort of reaction here. Okay, so kind of mixed signals here, right? Maybe an early indication of bearish, but we still remain above our 50. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how this candle closes today. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and let's see, turn off initial balance here for a moment. Okay, collapse this here for a bit. Okay, so this main line here is our 9. Okay, this main gold line is our 9, and then you're seeing that we're getting some crosses here. Okay, this is the 20 crossing the 50, now down to the 100. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of structure here that would indicate kind of maybe a little bit more in the way of range than what we've experienced maybe in some of these other markets. But we're starting to see some structure here that at best is range. Okay, at worst maybe bearish. Okay, taking a look at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, we're below some of the levels we care about. Okay, we're below the 200, below the 100. Kind of managed to get our above the 50, and we did get a cross of the 20 above. And now we're it's not 20. Yeah, we did manage to get the 20 above our 50, but we still price remains below our 9 EMA. Okay, price remains below our 9 EMA. So the question now becomes, are we going to come and maybe revisit settlement down below? Okay, right? That seems to be kind of a supportive area, right? That seems to be a supportive area. The other area, I think that's fair is, are we going to hold value area low, right, in this visible range? That's also valid as well. Okay, if either of those take place, then that, I would say, kind of speaks to maybe a range day in the Dow today. Okay, so coming back down, we got up to an area of resistance. Now we're coming back down to an area of support. Maybe we get a reversal there. Okay, that offers maybe another opportunity to maybe revisit the highs again. So seems like it's a market that's between 48,422 and 48,563. Okay, so a little bit more in the way. Let's go ahead and maybe take a quick look here at the initial balance range before we kind of summarize the markets here as a whole. Taking a look at Asia. Asia does appear that we had some buyers that kind of stepped in right into this market. London also appears to be a little bit more bullish than maybe some of these other equity markets. You can see that we also had an extension of this range, and we did get a reaction away from initial balance high in the beginnings, maybe the beginnings of a 3-bar reversal pattern up against the initial balance high. Assuming that this candle closes bullish and above our 9 EMA, this could offer us maybe an opportunity for maybe a bullish trade to the upside in this market. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and kind of summarize kind of our position across the various markets here. Again, we're starting to see maybe some bearish kind of activity in the gold. I think I had mentioned that maybe we have a couple of levels where we could see maybe some reversals in price. 43.68 and then 43.40 are a couple of areas that I'm going to be watching. Okay. Crude oil continues to be bearish. Okay, continues to be bearish, and we need to again look for opportunities if we're going to participate in this market to look for bearish trades. 9 EMA, VWAP being a couple of those areas, and then Nasdaq also, again, fair number of buyers in this market. Okay, came into London. Now we've kind of come back into the range. I think the earliest that we would be able to entertain anything to the bullish side, I think, would be on the other side of this initial balance range for London, right around this 25,637 level. That would be the earliest that I would want to entertain anything along those lines. Right. If I am indeed embracing this move, which is significant, right, during Asia, this would probably be the earliest location that I would want to participate in a bullish move. If we start to break those levels, then I think that opens up the door to maybe certainly point of control and maybe the outside possibility of coming back down to revisit sort of this gap that was created in Asia. Okay. And then ES here also giving us the same kind of look and feel. I would say 69.20, 69.21, 50 is that area for ES. That would be, if I'm truly aligned with this kind of bullish move that Asia was able to make, then this is probably the earliest that I would want to maybe participate in a long opportunity. Otherwise, it opens up the door to, well, point of control is already there before that. And then we have settlement down here at 68.92. But we would need to see price continue to break some of these initial balance ranges to the downside. Okay. All right. And then last but not least, the Dow. Looking at the Dow, we see that we are developing a little bit of a 3-bar reversal pattern up against this initial balance range that was established in London. This appears to be more bullish than the other two, okay, just because of the fact that we did respect the initial balance high from London, okay? So headed into the session, I would say gold continues to show some weakness. Crude oil continues to be weak. Equity markets, I would say, is a little bit of a mixed bag. Certainly some bullish price action in Asia. And I would say of the three markets that maybe the Dow is looking the strongest, just based on the fact that we reacted away from this initial balance range. We obviously need to get above this VWAP, or not only VWAP, but the 9 EMA to maybe kind of restore this kind of progress that we made to the bullish side in the Dow. Okay. So we'll go ahead and unless there's questions, we'll go ahead and close this session, close the first session in the new year as we close other sessions, and that is trade well, trade safe, be a market trader, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Trade well, trade safe, be a pro, be a market trader. Okay. I forgot my words. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. There it is. All right, guys. Have a good day trading, and we'll talk again soon, guys. I will be in Fast Markets today, so if you want to catch me on Fast Markets, once I get off of this session, I'll be joining the group over there. So if you want to catch me there and see what kind of opportunities, yes, thank you, Marie. If you want to catch me, I will be on Fast Markets here in the next 5 minutes or so. Until then, guys, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader.